Good afternoon and welcome to Problem with Being Awake. My name's Ben and I will be your host for as long as you want to listen. And this is not a subject I've ever covered before, and it's not one I think I'll probably ever do again, but I think there's a very big importance in this Christmas for America, the UK and Europe. And the reason I say that, this Christmas particularly, is because the USA have had this strange phenomenon where people are cutting off family members that voted for Trump and never wanting to speak to them again because they believe that Trump's going to take away all women's rights and all this fantastical nonsense that's not based on anything but media propaganda. And then you look at England and we've got free speech problems and people being imprisoned for saying things online. And we've got a government that's got the lowest approval rating of a new government in world history for England. Keir Starmer, there was a petition to have a new general election because they made promises and then they did the opposite of those promises, including they promised not to do the inheritance tax on farmers, but they've done it anyway, and it's gone down very badly. So we've had some riots in England. These aren't far-right riots at all. I'm not saying there aren't any far-right actors. In any type of protest or riot, you will have some who are peaceful, and you will have some who are antagonists. But the number, in terms of protests on the street, the number of far left compared to the far right in 4 years, 100 to 1, if that. And the difference is every single time they arrest the far right, but nobody really arrested anybody for the Summer of Love, where they burnt down $2.2 billion worth of businesses and police precincts, killed a load of cops. No one got done for anything there. The Washington March, which was just pro-Hamas. No talk of Palestine anymore, just pro-Hamas. None of them got any jail time. Here in England, none of the left-wing protesters have had any jail time. But yet they opened their last protest by starting with throwing things at the police. That's an instantly violent protest. It wasn't like it accumulated over a few hours. That was their first get-go. And it's this idea that they're protesting America, they're protesting England, they're protesting Europe, they're protesting the state of the world. And I would agree the state of the world is extraordinarily perilous in comparison to other times. But it's not an excuse for bad behaviour, and it's never an excuse for rioting or violence. And that is what we have across Europe, and we had in America. We're now in the UK living through the Biden years of what America had to go through, and we're waiting for our next Conservative to come and bring common sense just back to the policy table, and really just, get on with lives and treat British businesses as more important than European businesses, and British farms as more important than European farms. At the moment, the Labour government is doing everything the British people don't want done. We don't want more wokeism. We don't want DEI. We don't want people to have to take unconscious bias tests to see if they have some unconscious racist bias. We don't want any of that. But we elected Keir. I didn't vote for the guy, but we elected Keir Starmer. I have to admit, as a Conservative, they messed up big time for a period. Kemi Badenoch, on the other hand, was always my first choice for PM. She never got it. She's now the leader of the Conservatives, so let's hope there. But yeah, I can understand the whole country voted Labour. But no, I've never seen a government, not in all of my years, not in all of my years of work, not in all of my years as a private citizen, not in all of my years of life. I've never seen a government promise this and do this. I've never seen that. Promise all the good things, not do any of them, but do their opposites. or do all the bad things that we were scared you were going to do. But you made promises to get elected that you wouldn't do them, including multiple times there will be no inheritance tax on farming. And what are you doing? I think 2 farmers have killed themselves because of this inheritance tax now. It's not going to go away. This is a big issue for the UK, and there is this parliamentary petition with 3 million signatures asking for a new general election because everybody in the UK has buyer's remorse. And Keir Starmer's popularity rate is, in the first year for a Prime Minister, is unprecedentedly low. He's dropped to 22%. He doesn't represent Britain or its interests. But it's not just about Britain. Trump's coming into America. That's fantastic news, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, and a whole load of people who don't want government corruption and overspending. And none of us do. What we want is what they're now going to get in the US, which is the incentive to come and bring a business to the UK, rather than the opposite, rather than giving incentives not to do that, and crippling our own small businesses with extra taxes, and crippling our senior citizens with a winter fuel allowance which isn't sufficient. And this is the main point here. I don't want to see a load of old age pensioners spending the Christmas holidays wearing as many clothes as they can because they can't afford heating. I don't want that. I want the opposite. And so I'm going to suggest something that is very controversial now, but we need to have a good Christmas. We all need a good Christmas, more now than ever. We're closer to the brink of World War III than we've been since World War II. Our cultural divide is epic. Woke is dying, but it's not dying fast. It's trying to keep its tendrils going. And the mainstream of the UK, the US, and Europe have rejected wokeism. They've just rejected it because common sense logic shines through. So this is really the time, and I'm not a big Christmassy guy. I don't do much around Christmas. I'll do the bare minimum I can get away with. But this year, I'm ramping it up. I'm going to be slamming on some good carols. I'm going to get some dancing going early in December. I'll get that tree nice and gorgeous. I might buy some new, cool, expensive-ish stuff to put on the tree. I don't know about that. Don't really want to waste money, but I'm going to decorate the tree and, like the old days, put presents underneath it a couple of weeks in advance so people know there's a present there for them, but they don't know what it is. And we're going to celebrate on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day, on Boxing Day. We are going to celebrate. Whether we bloody like it or not in my family, we're celebrating. And why? Because we need some kind of unity. We need some kind of thing that we can get behind that can alleviate some of our personal struggles, our financial worries, and our societal and global worries about the way that the world is moving, the way our individual countries are moving. And if ever there was a thing that everyone can get behind, because everyone has got behind it at least once in their lives, if they've lived to a certain age, that is, 18. If you got to 18, you've never had a good Christmas. I don't believe you if you live in the Western world. Other people might have had much richer Christmases, but that's not what it's about. It's not about money. It's about having a beautiful meal, relaxing all day. Everyone's chilled. Family all together. Kids make it brilliant. My family, they're all a bit older now, so, it's still exciting, but not in the same way as the magic of kids opening presents, because that is magic. But still, just setting the scene for a good holiday season for everybody, just to forget about everything for 3 days. And if we forget about everything for 3 days, then maybe we can learn to practice forgetting about things for longer periods of time so that the countries that we live in are less agitated and divided. Because at the moment they are very divided and very agitated. So I'm going to leave it there. Please have a great Christmas. Great talking to you, as always. You be lucky, I'll be good. Heed what I said, and I'll see you soon.